Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and a reviewer who should have retired by now. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel and welcome back to Yolopark. We have not taken a look at one of their products in a long time, but they've given me the opportunity to talk about their new Megatron from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen in their AMK Pro series. Now, I've done AMK Pro stuff before. This is way more extensive. Their work is already really impressive. This kicks it up dramatically. So you've seen this in news roundups. I've been very flattering toward this. This is one of the Megatron designs from the movies I actually really like. I don't know why I like this iteration of movie Megatron. I just do. So I am really excited to get to talk about this myself. Now, if you want one of your own, or if what I'm about to describe in this video has your curiosity piqued, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can go check it out for yourself. These are usually like whatever price you see. If it's Yolopark stuff, based on my previous experience, it's going to be worth more than what they're asking. It's a really impressive job that they do. If you don't know how the AMK line works, so a lot of the internal stuff is already done for you. So you're not going to have to create like individual hinges. You're not going to have to build the shoulder joints. You're not going to have to align hips or anything like that. A lot of that skeletal stuff is already done. You will then be assembling the armor. And all of this is pre-painted. And the AMK Pro line does an incredible job on the paint, no less. There's also a lot of weight to this. This is actually really heavy in my hands right now. But the end result speaks for itself. Just incredible looking. Yeah, and yeah, you're getting a light up effect as well. You can tell a lot going into this. So, I go ahead and remove the slip cover. Okay, so I haven't opened up one of these in a bit, but nice to see that they are still doing this outline version of their artwork. That's pretty much how these boxes have always gone. The boxes just are really nice design overall. Really cool packaging. Okay. Let me show you what you are getting into when you grab one of these. For a kit this size, you're looking at 3 trays of parts. There is all of the armor. Let's see, put that over there. I'll make sure everyone can see everything. Alright, there is a lot more of the armor. This is where a lot of the heavier stuff comes from. I can feel the diecast. I can feel it down here in the parts that'll become the legs. See, we have another one, and then after all of that, we still have this with the base and the accessories. That's a lot of parts. So yeah, I've got building to do. I'm not going to bore you with this, but Yolopark stuff tends to be pretty intuitive to build, especially if you're familiar with the designs. I'm going to keep an eye on the instructions while I build this, just in case. But I'm going to jump cut here, and I will get back to you when I have a complete product. And one assembly later, we are back, and this Megatron is intense. Oh my god. So just to tell you how the actual construction went, it was a little bit too involved to film. But I'm actually very surprised by Yolopark. Aside from the fact that the instructions are clearly laid out, the parts in the trays are arranged as such that once I figured out how they sorted them in there, I didn't even need to really reference the instructions too much onto what part was what. I just kind of went tray A on the left, tray B in the center, tray C on the right, and it all just kind of fell into place. It all started to make sense. Intuitive. I like that. And yeah, there's a lot to like on the Megatron. So scale-wise, let me bring in a Siege Megatron alike. We'll do the 35th anniversary one here. So you can just see, like, compared to like a standard Voyager size, this thing is huge. This thing is huge. I don't have a tape measure on me, but he is somewhere in like that that nice 8 to 9 inch realm, looking fantastic at said realm, I might add. Yeah, this thing's gonna tower over a lot of your Studio Series stuff, appropriately so, I feel. So I think what we need to do is just focus in on details, and there are a ton of details to this toy. Just look at how much Yolopark managed to get in there. I mean, first off is just the sculpting work. Every little nook, cranny, groove, every little detail line that was in the ILM design, I can see happening in here. It's a phenomenal job capturing an incredibly complex design. The face in particular, extremely menacing, extremely well rendered. I like that there's also some color to his eyes. Like I showed on the back of the box, the eyes do light up. We'll get to that in a bit. But there is color to them as well. So if you want to leave the lights off, you can still clearly see the eyes. That's a really good touch. Individual teeth sculpted in as well. Yeah, this is intense. You can see all of the individual detailing. And here we start to see all the small stuff. All the little bits of rust that kind of remind you that this toy, or I should say this character, was buried at sea. That is a lot of salt water that toy has, that design has had to deal with. So yeah, a lot of rust details across the surface. You can also see a lot of Cybertron runes carved into him as well, looking very, very nice. So you'll excuse me, the light overhead is a little bit orange, but I think that's giving him like this appropriate glow. But we got plenty of light to show you. Like, yeah, he's a proper silver color all the way across. You've got hits of that dull gold in there. You've got hits of the brass. Man, like, it just keeps going. If I go down lower, you can start seeing the rust details on the knees. And noticing now, they're asymmetrical. They didn't just copy-paste the pattern from one leg to the other. It's all individualized. Like, that's an incredibly impressive attention to detail. If we go to the back, you can start seeing the same thing. So you got all these different details in what look like thrusters, either from vehicle mode or for his own individual flight. You see those huge ones in the back as well. But again, you see those glyphs painted on. You see that rust. Just extreme amounts of detail going through everything on this toy. And again, asymmetrical. Lots of little elements there. You can see internal details like gears and chains. You know, maybe that's akin to his vehicle mode. Maybe that's actually part of his Cybertronian design. I don't know. You've got the treads that are spiked, and they're a little bit rubberized as well. They're a little bit softer than the rest of the plastic. Because that's making up a chunk of his foot that's actually really good for friction. So that's another little added benefit to there, aside from just the fact that it makes it look a little bit more like it's a different material, because it technically is. And you got tons of little details, like those spindly little fingers this design is known for. Accurately rendered, accurately painted and sculpted. We'll get into everything those do as well. Just overall, just amazing job on the detail work here. An aspect that's harder to demonstrate on camera is weight. This guy is very heavy and very solid. A lot of his components are made of diecast, which does include elements of the hips, elements of the shoulders, but a lot of it is centered lower in the legs. And that's the proper use of diecast for those heavier joints that need that extra support, but also lower down to drop his center of gravity and keep him from falling over. This guy is incredibly sturdy as a toy. There's no knocking him over. Like, you can stand him pretty much in any pose. He's going to stay there, which is really, really nice to see. Diecast gets tricky. This is diecast done correctly, and I do appreciate that. Yeah, just don't get over it. Just like, I can just show you the detail all the way around. It's just hard to take everything in. Even if I go close up and zoom in on everything, There's so much going on. You know, it's just, I don't know, this is just an extremely solid achievement by Yolopark to capture so much intricate detail on these super complex movie designs. Now, I need to go into articulation, and for that, it's hard to demonstrate all of this at far range, so we'll have to go close up again. So for starters, the head is ball jointed, 360 degrees as well as up and down. There's also a hinge to the neck, so you can also bring it forward and back should you need to. Shoulders are universally jointed, so they can go up, down, left, right, all directions. You need to get a grip of the torso for this. But also, these shoulder pieces on both sides are on ball joints, so if those are in the way of a pose you need, you can move those out of the way, give it a little bit more clearance. Also, these are on hinges. The shoulder armor is on hinges as well, so you can get the arm all the way out. That's very good attention to detail. Also, you have a hinge in the torso itself to raise and lower the arms, and you have a butterfly hinge. That's a ton. That's like all the articulation I could possibly imagine out of the shoulder joint. You want to talk great articulation? Opening mouth. So if you want Megatron screaming, you can have that as well. Biceps, those do rotate around on both sides. You have double jointed elbows for extreme amounts of bending. Check out the detail on the hands. The hands are individually jointed, and quite a few of them have individual knuckle joints as well. So you have a lot of small detail and posability you can do, along with just a ball jointed wrist that's going to give you a lot more flexibility there. In the torso, I can move him backward and forward as he has multiple we have multiple crunch joints in the torso itself, as well as full 360-degree waist rotation. That's impressive. Again, little details, ball joints in the thrusters. If you want to adjust the thrusters on his back, you can do that as well. We take around to the front again so we can check out the hips, which have universal motion, and it has this swing joint if you need to get the leg into certain positions without, getting caught up on any of the design. You have full thigh rotation. You have digitigrade knees that do most of their bending backwards. Again, there's a panel here that double hinges out of the way if you need to bend the leg a little bit deeper to give you that as well. And then you've got all of the back and forth and left and right in the ankle you could possibly want. You can see that big solid joint in there for all of that. Yeah. It's an extreme amount of detail. Just absolutely impressive job from Yolopark. One of the most articulation-rich figures I've messed with in a long time. And to accomplish it with such complex designs going on, I think is a really, really impressive job. Again, I'm talking it up a lot because it's genuinely very well done. You can see that in what I'm presenting here. He's just an all-around great posing figure. And again, those giant stompers of his and all the die-cast lower in the design, that's going to make sure you can pose him however you want. But we have other ways of doing this. We have a full display stand, just in case you need Megatron to be even more stable than he already is. It's a nice wide base done up in a dark gray plastic that isn't on the main figure, so it won't blend in. I like that part. A little bit of paint in the center to detail it, and then the Decepticon symbol right there in the front. The big thing in the back is a very, very sturdy bendable cable so that you can plug that in and give him action poses should you want. On the back side of the Megatron toy, you're going to find a piece down here, just under the pelvis. Just pop that out, and that opens up a port that will attach to the rod. Now, if you want flight poses, if you want big action poses, especially if you have the Optimus to go with this, that's going to give you a lot of posing options. But for the most part, he is, again, exceptionally stable. So the display stand just kind of works to make him more statuesque and just much more official. Like, there's always something about seeing a figure on a display stand in a collection that just makes it feel more special, right? So it's always nice to see something like that included as well. But this one hides tricks. So the Decepticon symbol pops off. So when I press it to Megatron's head, it's going to make the eyes light up. If I do it again, it's going to go to a flashing. And then if I do it again, they're going to go into a pulsing, where it slowly fades off and on, which is really menacing to see them turn on. Then one more to turn it off. Very simple light up effect, but again, really, really cool to include. Very fun functionality. It's nice to not have like an on-off switch, you know. And even if I lose track of that Decepticon symbol, it really is just a magnet. So you're not going to have to worry about not being able to activate the Megatron. And we're still not done. So if I, let's say for instance, feel like, I don't know, destroying Optimus Prime, I have an option to do that. So we can swap off his right arm and equip his full clawed fusion cannon from the movie. This is why I like this Megatron. This is such a ridiculously over-the-top overkill weapon, and I love it. So it is rendered fully extended, ready for battle. Again, the detail work in the paint is immaculate. It looks amazing. And then you still have all the little details, like the individual bits of paint, the rust. It's all here. Just because it's an accessory does not mean that they skimped out on it. You have a double hinge up top for the top claw, so you can have a bunch of different posing ranges for that. And then another hinge down here to get this clear of the blast itself. Yeah, that's just awesome. That is awesome. Oh, and guess what? It also has a battery gimmick. So again, if I put that Decepticon symbol up to the magnet, to the front of the barrel, it is going to light up blue for his blast effect. And again, it works the same way, where I can make it pulse or I can make it fade in and out, depending on what effect I want. This is actually really good for like that pulse. It looks like rapid fire. And that, my friends, is an incredibly impressive Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Like I said before, we have been talking this toy up every time we have seen it on the news roundup, and in person it does not disappoint. The level of detail, the level of articulation, the paintwork, the sculpt, everything on this toy is immaculate. And I guarantee you, you're not going to find such a good rendering of the movie designs in a transforming state. This is where I really like figures like this, to take, to give you that representation you need if you really, really love these movie designs. So, huge benefit to having these non-transforming toys around in that case. Everything beyond that, the only word of warning I would have is the batteries are a little bit obscure. They are LR621s. So if you go to a specialty battery shop, like I had to do for this review, they're going to charge you $5 a battery. You're going to need 4 of them for this toy. Go ahead and order a pack of them on Amazon for like $6 for all the ones you need and then some. Yeah, it's just better to be more prepared than I did. But there you go. That is an absolutely fantastic Megatron, and that's what I got to say on it. So thank you once again to Yolopark for letting me do this video. Again, if you like what you saw, the link to the figure is in the description below. Go there to shop and check it out. And thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.